without further ado, I was going to comment, but I know we've run out of time, so I'm going to hand over now to Penwell Lunga, our fearless leader, the chairman of the South African Furniture Initiative, to speak on SAFI's value proposition. And while you make your way to the stage, I thought I'll just share a little anecdote. I don't know, Penwell, if you remember when we first met, I was adamant that you took my phone charger. I was safeguarding your laptop, and at the last furniture forum, I was adamant that you took it. So that's how we had our introduction. Do you remember that en route to Cape Town? But you didn't have it. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Should I use this or not?
Yes, if you want.
Okay, I'd rather not.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Ongama. In the RFA conference, I made sure that I speak before he did, because he's such a good speaker, and you can imagine I'm feeling the pressure. And so understanding our political environment is something that is absolutely critical, because that is where industrial and trade policy for us as an association plays. And so thanks for that, Mr. Ongama. It was quite insightful. In the last okay, that's fine. So in the last Furniture Sector Forum, I congratulated you for having survived COVID-19, which I thought was probably one of the biggest swing events of our time. You survived that, but little did I know that you were still going to be faced with the Ukraine situation. Prior to that, we had just dealt with the civil unrest. Okay, he wants me to use the mic. Rashid, I'm going to organize you a hearing device. Yeah, so what I said is that last year, I congratulated you for having survived COVID-19, and little did I know that the Ukraine situation was going to be around the corner. Subsequent to that, or in the midst of that, we had the flood damage in KZN. We dealing with the highest rate of inflation, high food prices, and so many other critical negative events impacting consumer demand. Consumer demand is something that is absolutely critical for the furniture sector, and we are nervous. But notwithstanding that, I think today is together is better. So my job today, I've been requested to talk about the SAFI value proposition. That is basically what SAFI offers to you. So a time comes in the destinies of men and women, organizations and nations, where they need to decide who they want to be. During COVID-19, we decided as an organization as to who do we want to be. We laid bare our aspirations, and we are quite firm in terms of what is going to be the reason we wake up on a daily basis. And so our aspiration is to have the South African designed and manufactured furniture in every home, school and workplace in Africa and beyond. We wake up every day to build a globally competitive and transformed furniture industry that shapes lives in every home, school, and workplace in Africa and beyond. We want each and everyone that interacts with our furniture not to look at it as another piece. We want you to remember it when you are at home, spending time with your families, in your kitchens, in your lounges, where you build all your memories. In your offices, we want you, when you make these big calls that Mr. Ongama was talking about, to know that one of our pieces was a witness to some of the biggest decisions that South African furniture businesses have actually manufactured. That is what we want to do. All of us, I presume, were in school. We remember our school days. Believe it or not, you know what, there was a piece of furniture that was part of that journey, or several pieces of furniture as well, that spend time with you. We want you to understand that our products are not simply pieces. They are made with passion. They reflect who we are, and we want them to shape your lives. I spoke a lot about this last year, and I'm not going to talk too much about it. But basically, because this is part of a practical strategy that we would like to execute as an organization, we've identified 4 priority areas that we're going to focus on. I'm not going to talk about the master plan. We have someone important that is going to do that. But I'm going to show how we align with the master plan. And so, we want to create market access for our products. We want to use trade as well as industrial policy instruments to protect our industry and create opportunities for you as manufacturers. One of the things that is absolutely important for us is to have smart and intelligent information, which we're going to use to drive our policy initiatives, to drive the decisions that we make on a daily basis. We cannot forget human capital. Therefore, the empowerment of the skills that are required to execute on our strategy, your strategy, our industry strategy, is an integral part of our priority. We've worked out what are the critical things that we need to do so that we can be successful and realize our strategy. We want to create market development opportunities. I don't expect you to read the detail, but this is just an outline of our strategy. So we want to create market development opportunities. We want to make sure that our sector, as part of the government's localization requirements, has sustainable raw material supply nearby so that we can deal with some of the swan events like COVID, the global supply chain shortages that we've experienced as a sector. We want to use, which is what I've already spoken about, trade intervention measures to make sure that we stop the illegal importation of products, that we have fair competition. We are not opposed to competition. That is the reason we are investing in the global competitiveness of our sector, but we want it to be fair. Hence, we working with so many government agencies to make sure that that happens. We want to build the skills that our sector requires, which we believe is something, Mr. Ngama, that is critical for us to take our people, people and our people in particular along with us in this long journey. This is going to be important relative to the conclusion in my presentation. So what we have done, we have taken our strategy and we've broken it down into several work streams. This is where implementation and execution happens. So what you see, specifically for the lounge value chain, we've established a work stream. Greg Bull, the former CEO of the Bravo Group, is the convener and the executive sponsor of that. We have several partners that we've put together who are going to help us just look at the issues impacting the lounge sector. which is something I'm quite passionate about, and I'm looking forward to listening to John Rocha, who is someone that I've met, to talk about how we can enable our sector to take its position in Africa as well as in the global manufacturing sector. And you can see we have built work streams for each and every segment. And you will see there is quite a great deal of overlap in the segments, which we like, because what that does, it forces us as different value chain players to integrate and work together. And you can see, this is what I was talking about, this is the alignment with the master plan. Mrs. Enyatsunga is going to talk about the master plan implementation pillars, what the master plan is about, and I'm just showing the SAFI priority areas on the left, and then on the right you see what the master plan is about. You know about how I've spoken passionately about the master plan and the journey that we've been party to with several stakeholders in the master plan journey. You know about that, and it's something that we consider a massive achievement for us as a sector and together with our partners. But Tafatwa is going to talk about that. In terms of the journey of implementing our own strategy, I'm just highlighting a few things that we've already initiated and implemented. There is more behind this. However, just to give you big highlights, you can see where the chairman is involved. Export is number one. Chairman of the board is involved. Something that he's passionate about, export development. The task team has already started. We've already shared industry data with the DTIC teams that are involved in exportation. And our principle there, I do understand that we need to make our local industry as competitive, and I fully agree that we need to create market demand in our sector first. However, there are quite a number of developments that are happening in Africa as well as globally. And we cannot miss a step in terms of where the future is going. Because if we do, we're likely to find ourselves being the Johnny came too late in the party. And so it's something that, so all of the initiatives are being driven in parallel. So you can see what we're trying to do. We invested in building the SAFI directory. Quite a great deal of work is going to go behind that. We want to build a database of local industries, showcase them so that anyone in the country as well as globally, when they are looking for a partner, they know where to find you and they can see what is it that you do. And you can see from a trade intervention measures, we believe that quality standards is one of the instruments that we can use in ensuring that we differentiate our product offering as the local sector relative to so many of the products that are coming to the country. We want to say to South Africans, we're giving you a quality product that we can back with a guarantee. You can see there is quite a great deal of work in terms of reviewing and ensuring that our standards are as global as they can be. We're working with the SARS teams. I know there are people from SARS here. We're working with the SARS teams, and the illegal importation of furniture is something that has been a problem, and we're now working with them so that we can link the definitions that you see in the HS codes to the actual products, so that when a product is declared to be under a specific HS code, the person looking at the product and making a judgment call whether to apply the duty or not, that person knows what is it that they have in front of them. Hence, working with the SAF's team. I'm going to try and go as quickly as possible, and we're working with the team from the ITC who have helped us and supported us quite in, I don't know what to say to you, Janine, as well as Mark, but this is something that is absolutely critical for us, building our data platform, knowing more about the industry, so that we can share that information with you, so that we can share that data and information with the policymakers is something that is absolutely key. And you can see on the right the investment in skills development and training. So what? You know, you now have a chairman coming here, congratulating, a nice political analysis, telling you about strategy and achievements. So what? And I think this is a moment for me and you in particular to just pause and just reflect really what is in front of us. So SAFI is simply a platform that you can use effectively or not. So SAFI, the board, I see the board members, the management team here, we cannot guarantee that our industry is going to be sustainable. We cannot tell you that, you know what, in 3-4 years' time, we're going to build a globally competitive industry. And we cannot guarantee transformation. It is you that can do it. We are simply a platform. And Janine spoke about cohesion. That is what SAFI does. That is the value that SAFI gives to you. SAFI wants you to understand your business. SAFI can work with you. John will talk about identifying opportunities. Yes, he will be talking about identifying opportunities from an export perspective. However, we can work with you to try and build a platform through which you can execute the things that matter to you. You must use the platform. What we do is give a cohesive platform, which is very powerful to enable you to achieve the things that matter. But however, it does not work if you do not make it work. So we are as strong as you are. If you want to complain about SAFI, I give you the guarantee. Look at the person complaining first, because you can make SAFI strong. You are a unique individual. You know your environment, you know the business. There is quite a lot that you can share with us. I met two gentlemen who've traveled the world, who've been looking for opportunities on behalf of manufacturers. They gave me an idea, Greg, 2 minutes just before the AGM. They basically said, what you guys don't do, you need to sell the South African manufactured furniture as a differentiated product. Why don't you arrange an event? Like they go to China, they go to so many of these places where everyone in those countries showcase what they can do and why their products are differentiated. They say, why don't you do that? So all that I'm saying is that I got an idea that I did not expect to get. Someone took their time to think about it, and they made the effort to talk to us, share ideas with us, because we do not have all the answers. And therefore, there is power in cohesion. And it is that power that SAFI brings to the table. Remember, this is the platform that SAFI gives you. We have strong partnerships with the DTIC. They will be presenting here today, taking time out at no fee. Thanks, Tafato. We are funded by the bargaining councils themselves. Thank you for that. We have industry employers associations. Those that attended our AGM may have seen them. We have leaders of our trade union movements in this room. We have professional institutions. We work with outward trade promotion agencies. We work with the IDC. And we work with so many other non-governmental bodies. In this mix, surely there is enough experience and enough know-how to find solutions that matter to you. That is the reason we're saying cohesion is what is our value. That is what we give to you. And therefore, you can see what we do from a value proposition point of view. We build a cohesive platform which is aimed at ensuring sustainable raw material supply, competitive manufacturing. We work with government, hence the political analysis, to make sure that everything that we do is aligned with policy and actually can enable or alternatively inform policy movement going forward. And we are about demand creation and industry growth. We make sure that that value chain is cohesive to tackle the issues that are in the industry environment. So when I started, I said, a time comes in the destinies of men, women, nations, and organizations to decide who they want to be. We have a very tough industry environment that we need to confront. Are we going to take it head on, irrespective? Are we going to be allowing the environment to shape our destination, or are we going to make a stand and shape it? I'm asking you to get involved. We have work streams. We need your experience. We need your knowledge. We need your know-how. We need resources in bodies, in time, in funds to make sure that this initiative succeeds. I know, as individuals, there is a lot that we can do. Yes, as individuals, there's a lot that we can do. Some businesses are very strong. They can do certain things very quick and very fast on their own. They don't need SAFI. But however, I suspect that there will be policy barriers. There will be market failures along the way. I suspect that we can go far as a unified force if we stick together. Our African ancestors put this forward, and I would love for you to think about this specific slide. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you. Another part of my presentation, sorry, Janine, as you know, these events are impossible to host without the support and partnership of various players. And I've been requested, I approached individually these representatives to make an effort in ensuring that we have a successful event. Kasira, Fairprice, Restonic, Panthera Media, and Riboni, as well as the JD Group. These are the people who, outside of budgetary processes and decided to support our event. But we've also been supported by Proudly South African. We have Janine here as our MC. I forgave her, by the way, for accusing me of stealing her charger, which I did not. Thanks to the IDC, we will learn quite a lot. They will be participating in a platform discussion that we're going to have later on. Thanks to the FPMN CETA, and I've already spoken about our partners in the trade, in the DTIC. These are all our stakeholders. I've also been requested to specifically extend a word of thanks to our financiers, the bargaining councils themselves, who make it possible for SAFI to function and do the things that it does. However, beyond that, we have so many other partners who are an integral part of making this initiative what it is. Thank you for that. My talk is not open to questions. Thank you.
From a personal thank you from our side as Proudly South African, thank you. You and Bernadette are always on speed dial, Nasli too. And it is because of you and our work together that our membership base is also growing, and we're very passionate about this industry. So that talks about working together, talks about cohesion, and it's really a fantastic example of that. And you're really one of the standout associations for us. So we really thank you for that. You had mentioned the school desk example. So I was very much fortunate to be in a school that we each had our own desk, and that inevitable on the right-hand side, that ink pot hole was always there. And then of course it held historical, very important historical information about romances lost and rekindled, etc. I don't know if you remember all that. And then of course the reserves under the desk in the form of gum. So it's one of those school memories that and that smell of that wood, you'll never forget that. So it is it's a very important part of our lives, everyday lives for us as consumers, never mind our connection with business and government.